Tom and Jack on a Wednesday morning. Are you dazed and confused by the fact that it's Wednesday? Because everything is a blur and time is merely a construct of human perception.
No, because yesterday I did the news with Ross, and that is a Tuesday.
Is this how we tell the days now? By who we do the news with?
That's how. And
Tuesdays
by what? And
are
by
now Ross Day.
By the level of despair in the news cycle as well.
Let's bring the despair. Here is some wrestling news. There's heat between WWE and AEW wrestlers this morning. We have the reason behind an unusual Raw spot from Monday night. And a celeb wants himself a flipping WWE match. Find out who in a little bit. On Monday Night Raw, we saw a lot of nonsense, but in amongst it, we saw T-Bar hitting eyes wide shut like a torture rack into a GTS kick type thing. But he's not the lone star doing that move, is he, Jack?
No, because Sammy Guevara also enjoys doing that move, doesn't he?
Slight problemo here.
No,
off?
They called each other and they sorted it all out privately, and it's all been fine.
That'd be great. Next story.
Instead, they took to Twitter. So T-Bar, of course, formerly known on the Indies as Dominik Dijakovic, took to social media to comment that some little teenage virgin on AEW stole my finisher like 4 years ago after we did a show together. So he's claiming ownership of the move. He's saying, no, it's my move. And then Sammy Guevara said, someone tell T-Bag that the move actually belongs to Matt Demarest, the guy he stole it from, and I'm just trying to get the move seen since you're never on TV. Also, while you're sitting doing nothing in catering, check out the newest vlog. And then he linked his own vlog. So that's pretty incendiary. It's a pretty incendiary incident,
especially to whoever's making sandwiches. They might like Sammy Guevara's blog. Just a thought. This is Retribution playing silly buggers online. I mean, the one forum I think they have got the time and space to do stuff is online, so they make full use of it with some back and forths here. Well, I felt quite sad for them on Monday because on a 3-hour show where they were clearly doubling up on wrestlers and matches, they still only got 4 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that was just that match against Xavier Woods, wasn't it? But they won. Well, T-Bar won. He brought home the win for the team. And also, while I do agree with you that it does just seem to be T-Bar doing the Retribution thing on social media, I can't remember who it was that I saw do it now. But someone else from AEW said something like, "Oh yeah, this guy's a disgrace. He's a rubbish worker," or something, just actually being like annoyed at him. And I remember Kenny Omega as well having a bit of an exchange with Dominik Dijakovic a little while ago. So I don't know if it's real then, therefore. Maybe it is. Maybe
there's previous with a few of those guys having a pop at Double D.
Kenny Omega... Sorry, Dijakovic had just had a really good match or something and tweeted about how his match was class and better than Kenny Omega. No, it was at a PWG show. And then years later, Dijakovic mentioned that him and Keith Lee had stolen the show at this PWG show and beaten or done way better than Kenny Omega, who was on the same show. And then Omega said something about that, and it was really silly, Tom. It was really silly.
Sounds like Dijakovic's a popular guy.
It was silly on all fronts. I'm not just blaming him. He's 7 foot tall.
All silliness all round. Welcome to Twitter.
Actually, Tom, as Owens just mentioned there, I should probably mention what Dax Harwood said. That's who I was thinking of when I said there was another AEW roster member. He chimed in. He replied to Sammy Guevara saying, on Twitter again, saying, "Stole my finisher," in speech marks. "My finisher? The guy is an idiot. He's lucky to even be in the business." Now, that sounds very real and very venomous, but that could also be him in character. I don't actually know, because that's basically what the FTR... What the FTR say? That's what the FTR say.
What if Hulk Hogan was right all along and we are gradually, slowly working ourselves into shoots, brother?
Well, maybe. I think I remember being told sometime in my WCPW tenure, life is a work, brother. And I was like, oh, I'm getting in too deep here. This is too much.
Staying with Monday Night Raw, away from what may or may not be Double D's move. Keith Lee nearly sent John Morrison interstellar when he clattered him in the corner, but in doing so, ripped the turnbuckle out. It was a cool little moment, but there was a very deliberate method behind the madness. What was it, Jack?
So according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, this was done, right, as a unique way to send Raw to a commercial break, because WWE has often felt that something spectacular needs to happen before the commercial break. It became a bit of a cliche that we'd see a suicide dive before, and they'd all lie on the floor, and that would be, let's go to commercial. Now, this is a strange one, because I would have thought the reason was to show that Keith Lee's very, very strong. I'm hoping that was also a secondary reason, because it's always kind of cool when that happens, because they don't do it that often. And I think that, you know, when it's a big, powerful wrestler like Keith Lee doing it, it's got quite a visual effect on you.
Yeah, it was a cool moment to have that fall apart as it goes to break. And you know what? You can see WWE doing this more often. They're trying to change up how they go into those break junctions. Those break junctions are crucial to them right now, especially when the ratings are slipping. They're doing everything they can to try and keep people there. I noticed that at the start of every hour on Raw this week, you had Triple H and Randy Orton showdown. They put that, so for anyone channel hopping at the top of the hour, yes. They would stumble across, oh, there's Triple H, I know him from the past.
Now, I have to ask as well, just while we're on the topic of Raw, there was two, right? There was two different instances of almost the same angle with Jeff Hardy and Riddle. I think
that's correct. Yeah.
What's that about then?
Oh, it was very, from what I gather from PW Insider, Raw was very slapdash put together, and for once not completely their fault. This was Drew McIntyre getting diagnosed with COVID hours before the show goes live and having to quickly and hurriedly rewrite the whole thing, and in that, obviously, a little bit of quality control goes out the window. Not only do we see two instances of wrestlers starting matches immediately after another match is finished with their opponent's second, but we had instances where tag partners were tagging themselves in, like on multiple hours.
Shayna
Baszler and Jax, and then you had Keith and Shamo doing it for the band. So there was a lot of rinse repeat on Raw, and it wasn't a great Raw, I'll be honest, but at least at this occasion, not entirely their fault. Hey, at least they're giving some thought to how they go into breaks. I mean, they're not thinking too much about building new talent for a sustainable future. They're not worrying too much about creating stars and storylines that people are going to be interested in. Oh no, we've got to get those break points right. That's what'll take us back to the Attitude Era. Getting them break points right.
Yeah, I'm all for it, Tom. It's going to put butts in seats. My thighs hurt. Okay. I
was going to say moving on, but why are your thighs hurting?
Don't know. Maybe
what have you
slept funny, but how could I sleep funny that would hurt both thighs? It might be the way I'm sat. I'm kind of half forward and half back.
In the comments below, how has Jack hurt his thighs?
Steady, everybody.
Steady. Whilst you have 13 conversations about one thing, let's look back to Twitter, where Kayla Braxton has deleted her account. What's gone on here, Jack?
Well, first of all, congratulations to her, because she's going to be far happier going forward.
Oh, God, yeah.
But yes, this comes from a tweet she made the other day, saying, while I was at work tonight, I got a call. It's really an awful story. When I was at work tonight, I got a call that someone very close to me died of COVID, and as I logged onto this platform tonight, I noticed multiple disgusting tweets tagging me to make jokes about me when I had the virus earlier this year. F you. And since then she has gone on to delete her Twitter account. Now, she obviously was one of the first people, I think, in WWE to publicly reveal that she tested positive, I think. So yeah, I feel as though, you know, it's just one of those cases where people are clearly being massively unfair to somebody, and she's decided, all right, I'll delete this then, and I reckon she's gonna feel great about that.
Yeah,
so,
I think once a week I come close to deleting mine. I just think I just don't know if I've got the energy anymore. Close every single time.
I certainly go on it less. I certainly go on it less, and I get into less arguments these days, which is difficult in lockdown because there's nothing else to do. But I think it's the right move from Kayla. She's obviously not at fault at all, and you know, people should, in theory, I don't want to do the whole lecture thing, but people should be nicer online.
Yes, they should.
And No, fair play to her. I don't know
I'm
what else
happy,
to say
I'm happy
about
to
this
do
one.
I'm happy to do the lecture thing, to be honest with you. I'm more than happy to do the lecture thing about the fact that it shouldn't be the case that we have to ignore people being assholes.
No, yeah.
It should be a case that people should be better people and not hide behind anonymous Twitter accounts.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just saying. It's just something that grinds my gears a little bit. All the best, Kayla. I'm very jealous. The WWE Superstar Spectacle is coming up. It looks as if it's going to be the launch pad for NXT India. A few more details slowly eking out about this. What have we got, Jack?
So yeah, and they're not details like what's going to be the content of the show, who's going to be definitely on it, or anything like that.
Are we getting any gold?
Well, are we getting any gold? We do know some details already, such as, the heavy rumour that people like Jinder Mahal are involved, and they're going to try and get some big names like AJ Styles and Charlotte Flair involved. But these details are more logistical, shall we say. So according to PW Insider, we already knew it was going to air on Indian Republic Day, which is Tuesday, the 26th of January, at 8 p.m. local time in India. And now we know that it's going to be taped 5 days before that, on the 21st of January, in the Capitol Wrestling Center in Orlando, Florida. We were speculating, I think it was actually, it was mine and your last news video, Tom, I think. We were speculating whether it would go out live, because they'd be taping it at a weird time of the day, or whether it actually would be pre-recorded. Well, now it seems like PW Insider have confirmed that it's going to be pre-recorded. There had been plans apparently to tape the show across several days and edit it together, but now it's expected to be taped live to tape on one day. So good luck to everybody.
Good luck to everybody involved. I thought it was a strange move to choose to do it over several days, whether or not it's just as a COVID precaution to film bits at one time, looks like they're just going to get it all done in one day, and it'll be on next week.
Feel for the wrestlers a bit. I'm intrigued as well, but I feel a bit for the wrestlers there. Like I think it would have been nicer to have maybe a 2 or 3 day shoot rather than just cramming it all into one day. That's going to be a long day for whoever wins the tournament. Is it a tournament? Yeah, it's a tournament. Whoever wins the tournament. Yeah.
We will see. We'll find out on the 26th of January.
I should just add there that it's expected, again, this is all PW Insider, it's expected to be 90 minutes to 2 hours long and will feature both English and Hindi language broadcasts. We still don't know how it's going to be available to UK or US viewers, but I'm sure it'll hit the network at some point.
It'll be in English and Hindi, so 2 for the money. And finally, a celebrity is looking to get in a WWE ring. Not the first time this has happened, and it won't be the last, but it's an interesting one. Who have we got, Jack?
Well, first, Tom, when I was reading your notes, I was hoping this was going to be Freddie Flintoff, the cricketer, the English cricketing legend, because that would have been fantastic. And he's just been talking about it. He was talking about it in a way that, like, this was something that was offered to me earlier in my career, whereas this guy is on the pulse, he's current, he's a hot young star. It's Matthew McConaughey.
Yes!
Great actor, big fan. After an intriguing interview on Maria Menounos' Better Together podcast. So he was asked if he'd ever step foot in the ring. Obviously, Maria Menounos, huge wrestling fan. She often, and he said, spreads the good word of wrestling there, which is a bit...
She spreads the good word. She walks into town centres and goes, "Let me tell you what happened on Raw."
Yeah. She just stands on Bret Hart's autobiography and shouts around the town centre.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Yeah. But McConaughey was asked if he'd ever step foot in a ring, and he said, "You can't say too much about these things, but it is something that interests me." What does that mean? That's very cryptic. You can't say. Does that mean he's already been asked? You can't say too much.
I wouldn't be surprised because he's been on like a media tour as of late anyway. I think pretty much every podcast I listen to has interviewed Matthew McConaughey except Desert Island Graps. We should probably book that in. But he's one of them. It kind of puts me in mind of Mickey O'Rourke when he did The Wrestler and how O'Rourke got involved at WrestleMania that year.
I think it's just Mickey Rourke, Tom.
Oh, is it?
I think so. But now, if I'm wrong, I look like such a fool. But you like that sort of media tour? Do you mean?
Yeah, not like his media tour, but more in the case of like he could play a role like Mickey Rourke did when he rocked up at WrestleMania. Have him there in the crowd. And I could see him doing something like that. And just
have him just there, one man in a sea of computer screens.
Yes! That'd be amazing. Or, if he's on the screen, he walks through the screen like the monster in The Ring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can see that happening as well.
That'd be a great way to do it.
I've not... For such a huge actor, I've not seen him in too many things. I liked him in True Detective a lot, season 1. That was fantastic. But I'm not... I always get... This is going to be sacrilegious to some people. I always get him mixed up with Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though they look different, they're both Southern. So, wow.
And one of them does a sofa advert in the UK. Just to kill some time. Speak to you later. Stay safe. Wow.